Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, great. I was super nervous there for a second. Hair's a little wild right now. I just got a shower just a little bit ago. What's cracking, y'all? Welcome. Another Wednesday talking about some more news within gaming. We outside, we're doing it today. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Gaming Got Me in the Feels. And I tell you what, there wasn't a crazy amount of insane news, but there is definitely some stuff that I'm going to be talking about today that's pretty interesting. And maybe you guys will enjoy it. So hopefully, welcome Asterisk, by the way, Go Poe. Whoever else is watching, don't be afraid to get in the chat and say what's up or whatnot. I'm more than happy to have you here. Thank you to all of those that decided to come out here today so far. But without further ado, let's kind of get into some of the topics that I'll kind of want to talk about today. And I have kind of a list of the different stuff that I'm going to be going through. So one of them, the first thing I'm going to probably talk about is the whole Microsoft issues comment on Xbox Gamepass cannibalizing game sales. Definitely got to talk about that. I definitely want to get that one out of the way first because I just feel like the CMA talk is just nonstop. It just never freaking stops. So that is kind of where we're at on how we're going to get started. But as for other things that we're going to be talking about is the Sony Earbuds, which is something I'm not exactly sure why. And then also, we're going to be talking about the original Metroid Prime developers express some frustration, and we'll get into why here in a little bit. Atomic Heart, are they poking the bear? You know what I'm saying? Are they poking Hogwarts Legacy? We got to see it with this new commercial that they have that just dropped just the other day. And then really warm news from Atomic Heart as well. I'd say even heartwarming. Starfield, is it coming sooner than we think? Or is it later than we think for some other people? Because some of y'all are saying March, and I'm sorry, but that's not happening. March is just no, in my opinion. And then Wolong, fantastic news with that. So let me go on ahead and get my window capture up so you guys can see what I see. Let's see, bam. All right, and just for y'all, pow. There it is. So we're looking at some news now. We're going straight into this sucker right here. So what's up, Tortoise Hawaii? I see Tortoise Hawaii Game. Sony earbuds are meant to block out any mention of Microsoft. That's fantastic. Gold Classic Cage, what's cracking? Good to see you up in here. The March Brigade. Asterisk, I'm gonna call you Asterisk. It says Dad Unwinds, but it's Asterisk Gaming, bro. I had the bro on my channel. He was one of my first Behind Them Sticks episodes quite a bit of time ago now. Brother, I'm happy that you're here, but he says the March Brigade. LOL, I do think June is a possibility. Hey, we will be talking about that here shortly. But without further ado, Microsoft issues comment on Xbox Game Pass cannibalizing game sales. So I'm just gonna tell you my quick thoughts real quick, kind of surrounding the subject, and then we're gonna kind of just get into it. So my thoughts on this whole cannibalizing, which actually I need to, that's really dim, so it's probably harder for you guys to see. So let me turn that up. So my kind of thought processes on it is just like, obviously, I mean, how many people do we see going out and buying like TV shows in stuff like that. Like, you know, Xbox and, you know, many other programs give you the option to buy content from them, right? I'm not just talking about video games. I'm talking about movies, TV shows, just all the above, right? How many people buy it versus going to a subscription service? Not saying that buying it's bad. Buying it's fantastic, right? It's like direct support to the developers or to the producers or whatever. But if they're if somebody's putting a product into a subscription service, in my opinion, they already are kind of questioning their own product as like a third party. I'm not talking about as first party Microsoft. First party Microsoft is gonna put their stuff onto the Game Pass because that's their business model, right? But as a third party game coming into Game Pass, would there have been more people buying it if it didn't go into Game Pass? Sure. But Xbox has already pretty much proven that they only kind of care about, you know, people actually using it. And they'll actually front the cost on a lot of this stuff so we can keep them looking busy or engagement up high, right? So I don't think this is too wild. I mean, it comes out as if it's like brand new, like shocking news that, you know what? The subscription service could be taking away from basic sales. No shit. Of course it's going to do that because people are going to see 400 games, or do I buy this one game? 400 games, or do I buy this one game? People that game a lot are going to be like, I'm obviously going to go with the 400 games, especially since my game is in it, or several of the games I'm looking forward to are in it. So for the consumer, it's just, you don't even have to think about it. It's like a duh. And then unless you're like a physical only kind of person, it's kind of like a duh to get into a subscription service. But as for a company wanting to get into a subscription service with Microsoft, like let me use something for like what's that I'm trying to think of right now. So as for like a game like Stalker 2, I think that's a good comparison right there. Stalker 2 coming into Game Pass, that will definitely stifle some sales of the game itself. But yo, let's not sit back and forget that these dudes get paid up front to put their games onto Game Pass. They already got the dollar. They already know that they're getting something in their pocket initially. For a game like Stalker 2, you're probably getting good money, right? Showing that off to Xbox, they're like, looking pretty good. I'm gonna have to give you some good money for this. And then after it releases in there, you have the opportunity to buy it at a lower cost, but keep in mind, you're paying $15 a month. So is it really a lower cost? I'd say it is if you utilize Game Pass plenty. But if you rarely play or beat games that often, then it might not be as worth it, especially if you're not taking advantage of like the rewards and stuff like that. There's a lot to unpack when it comes to Xbox, and I feel like for a new customer, they sometimes don't they don't walk people down the path the best way. But as for this specific article, let's go on ahead and get into it. So it says Microsoft issues a statement on claims made in a UK-based report that games see a dip in sales in following their available in the year following the availability on Game Pass. Absolutely. So a claim by Xbox head Phil Spencer that Game Pass would not cannibalize game sales may not be true. According to a report out of the UK stemming from investigations of Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition, Microsoft has released a statement rebuting the report's findings. Game Pass is Microsoft's video game subscription service, often referred to as the Netflix of gaming. In 2018, soon as Game Pass launched, CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer, claimed that that Game Pass would increase sales of games that are available both on Game Pass and sold at traditional retailers. Spencer theorized that word of mouth about a game available on Game Pass would influence players who are not subscribed to the service, leading to increased sales from non-Game Pass players. Okay. Continuing on, it says a professional report from the UK Competition and Marketing Authority, CMA, found that the opposite might be true. After analyzing internal Microsoft documents, the CMA found an unspecific percent decline in base game sales in the year following a game addition to Game Pass. Eurogamer reached out to Microsoft for further explanation of the CMA's findings. An Xbox representative countered by suggesting that the game creator that makes the games available on Game Pass are compensated fairly for their work and are allowed room for creativity and innovation. The statement does not directly reference Game Pass's impact on overall base game sales. I tell you what. All right, before I get into that, let me go down and read Cult Classic Cage's message. She said, I feel like Game Pass prevents the possibility of exceptional game sales. Like, imagine if Hogwarts was on Game Pass day one. Don't see Microsoft giving near as much money as what the sales would have. Sure. I see what you're saying. Sure. Yeah, I mean, it probably, obviously, what would happen is the subscriptions for Game Pass would shoot up really well, and it'd go hand in hand with the sales of Hogwarts, because there's obviously going to be those people that cannot or don't want to go subscription based. But yeah, as for those people that are looking at it like, finally, this subscription service has something for me in it, like, I think that would be maybe a little rough on the devs. But at the same time, I'm wondering because I think that I'm wondering that if that were to happen, would Microsoft be giving them a cut continuously? See, I mean, this is why we need a little bit more clarity about how all this works. And I'm sure, they definitely don't want to come out and say anything right now because they're in the middle of this Activision Blizzard deal. But I'm kind of curious as to how, I mean, I'm sure somebody has explained it before, but as to how a company continues to be monetized after receiving the initial payment for Game Pass from the start. So, like, let's say you're Tunic and you're putting your game into Game Pass. Obviously, you got paid prior. They see your game and they're like, oh yeah, this is worth this. Here you go. The game blows up. Okay, sure. I wonder how you're continuing to be compensated, if it's really low or if it's really kind of depending on what you work out personally. I'm assuming there are possibly deals where you take a higher thing but get less in continuous revenue. And then there's probably an opposite of that where you take less at the beginning, but you get higher in per sales revenue. And I'm really wondering if those are just the two options that they have, or if they have much more options than that, or just how closely that they deal with each other. But that is definitely something interesting to think about. Cult Classic Cage with Hogwarts Legacy coming out, how would have that have done? But we'd have to kind of see a big game of that caliber drop into Game Pass just to kind of get a feel for it. And the crazy thing is the game that's probably going to have that happen if this deal does go through will be Call of Duty. Call of Duty will be that you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be that thud in there to fall, and everybody's gonna see, yo, is this worth it? Or Game Pass wise, I mean, for me it will be worth it, but for Xbox, I'm kind of curious how they're gonna view that, how Activision themselves are gonna view that, because it's just like, yo, like, we used to make a killing and now we're literally tied into a subscription service, and the only way that we get money is now through your subscription service. You only gotta wonder if that's going to mess with the internal business that is, you know, game studios and Microsoft, or you know, Activision Blizzard, or because I mean, I'm assuming a lot of that stuff gets tied into a pot, right? So especially if it's like a Microsoft studio, you know, coming out with a game, and then the money comes back, it all probably goes in, it probably just doesn't go back into Obsidian's pocket. It probably doesn't go back into Playground's pocket. It probably goes into the whole Xbox game studio pocket of, you know, I mean, potluck kind of fun kind of thing going on. Pyro Mad, what's cracking? Good to see you up in there. But yeah, let's continue on, because definitely some interesting stuff going on. So I already read that. So coming down, it says soon after Game Pass launched in 2017, some wondered if the subscription model would hinder traditional game sales, as it seemed impossible that it couldn't. When a game is made available as part of a service with millions of subscribers who all have instant access to a game, sometimes from the day of release, logic dictates that those millions of subscribers would play the game without paying full retail price. Duh, that's not news. But anyways, continuing on, Microsoft claims that those millions of subscribers then would cause enough excitement about the game outside its Game Pass ecosystem that would influence others to buy the game and not borne out. According to the CMA's findings, while the CMA reports does admit to limitations in data tracking, Xbox itself in its own internal document has determined that a game added to Game Pass would indeed lead to a cannibalization of digital sales. Time out real quick. Time out. The reason I say or not the reason I say, but Microsoft came out itself and said that, you know, we're cannibalizing games by putting it into the service, or cannibalizing sales, not the game, but cannibalizing the sales of or digital sales or whatnot of a game. You know why they're coming out and say that, right? I mean, if you want to win, in the way that you gotta win is by playing stupid, Microsoft is really working hard to do that. And I tell you what, Microsoft and Sony are really flexing on the stupidity right now. They are, because they're expecting us to believe, and I'm not kidding when I say this. They're expecting us to believe that after all this data that they came out with last year, with what's her name, Sarah Bond, coming out and saying, "Oh man, Game Pass, it's fantastic. It gets people to play so many more games. They spend so much more money. All this other stuff." Now that they're in court, they're gonna sit back and say, "Yo, we don't know what we're doing, so we need Activision." That's what's kind of happening right now with Microsoft. Microsoft is pretty much saying, "Yo, we need this to carry on, and we're hoping that when we say day one in a game at Game Pass, that other people hype it up, and you know that will lead to some of the digital sales." But I mean, we're hurting because those subscribers are going to be now, it's just complaining. It's just to me, it's fake complaining. I think that it's doing better than we think, but they definitely don't want to flex how great they're doing in front of the CMA or any other entity, in my opinion. This is strictly my opinion, my podcast, my thing, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all for coming through. I see Mr. Joanna Dark and Pyro, Retro Nerd. Thanks for y'all coming through. I will get to your guys' chats here in just a moment, but I am going to continue through here. But yeah, like I said, I think Xbox is purposely kind of saying that they're having a harder time than they really are. So Xbox Game Pass offers gamers and creators more choice and opportunity in how they discover, experience, and deliver games. For gamers, that means providing another option for them to discover games and play them with friends at a great value. For developers, that means creating another option for how they monetize their games, which is really interesting. So side note from all this, jargon about, PlayStation versus Xbox. So what I want to kind of talk about just briefly real quick as a kind of a side note is, Xbox is literally changing or creating another option for how they monetize games. As it says in the paragraph, sure. But if you just look at Hi-Fi Rush or Pentiment, that's telling you exactly that last line. That's telling you exactly that last line. A game that Xbox would have just said absolutely F no to last generation, because it's like, the way Seamus Blackley put it to me was like, we don't want to spend. Microsoft was like, we don't want to spend any money. The product should sell itself. And Seamus was telling me, we got to go out there and do some marketing. And Microsoft was just like, no, because they don't market Windows. They don't market like a whole lot of stuff that they have other than maybe like the Surface Pros and stuff like that. They market some of their hardware, but they don't really market their software so much. So this is kind of a whole lot of different talk from Microsoft than in the past, back when Seamus or even Pete was in charge of running, running the platform. But anyways, I just think that's fantastic, and I hope to get a bunch more small games like Pentiment or Hi-Fi Rush and yada yada yada. That'd be fantastic. More passion projects. I love it, especially Hi-Fi Rush. I wasn't really big into Pentiment. I still gotta try it. It just doesn't look that enticing to me. But I tell you what, Hi-Fi Rush, I played the crap out of that and absolutely loved it. But just the fact that they're able to pump out something that's fresh, that new IP, and a passion project, that's what gaming's all about right there. I love it. But anyways, continuing on, it says, we're focused on helping game creators of all sizes maximize the total financial value they receive through Game Pass. Each game is unique, so we work closely with creators to build a custom program to reflect what they need and ensure they are compensated financially for their participation in the service. and allow room for creativity and innovation. As a result, the numbers of developers interested in working with Game Pass continues to grow. I bet it does. You're telling me that I can come over there and make the game I want to make? I mean, hey, that sounds pretty good to a lot of people. That's the reason a lot of people get into the gaming business when they're doing development and stuff. Anyways, they hopped in not on others' visions or the business's vision, but on their own personal vision. You don't become a game developer because you want everybody else to make the cool ideas and stuff like that. In my opinion, I think you'd become a game developer because you want to make a game of your own at some point. Sure, why not? I think that'd be fantastic. And if a service like Game Pass is giving you that option, take advantage of it. Take advantage. We are people. We are not business. They are business. Xbox is a business. Look, Sony is a business. Amazon's a business. Nintendo's a business. Don't give a shit about their feelings. They don't have feelings. People do. So take advantage of businesses. 100%. They're not your friends. Microsoft's internal documents indicate that Activision was not a big fan of having its games available on Game Pass for this very reason. Should the acquisition... So before I go to that next sentence, actually, it just kind of sparked in my mind. Of course, Activision doesn't want that to possibly happen. But yo, if you're getting bought, what's the choice, right? But at the same time, it's just like, can you imagine? Call of Duty will be holding like Game Pass together pretty much for at least until, you know, Game Pass shelves out more games. Of course, Diablo and Overwatch are going to do good, but let's not kid ourselves. Like, what was it? Like January or just this month or whatnot? What was the most sold game? Call of Duty, and it came out like in November. And you know what's above Call of Duty, or not above Call of Duty? You know what's under Call of Duty? A couple rows down. Oh my goodness! Thank you, sweetie. All right. So yeah, what's just a couple rows under Call of Duty is Elden Ring, which, I mean, this is separate from the whole Call of Duty thought process, but I just thought it was amazing that a year past its release, that it's still, it's above Forspoken in most game sales recently. And I just think that's insane. A brand new game is getting outshined by last year's Game of the Year. And what's even crazier is not only is Elden Ring beating Forspoken, but it is currently beating God of War for the month as well. And it's just like, what? God of War just came out and they were just talking about them crazy sell numbers of 11 million and whatnot. But Elden Ring is still, you know, running them, which is wild. Which is really wild. Anyways, it says, should the acquisition deal go through, Spencer has promised that Activision and Blizzard games like Diablo and Overwatch will be available on Game Pass regardless. The question then becomes whether publishers and developers with games on Game Pass are being compensated well enough to make up for the dip in sales. It should be noted that the data the CMA is working with is from 2018. Things may have since changed, but until the contrary arises, it seems Microsoft claims do not hold water. Sure. So, I mean, I think it's wild that they're using documents from 2018 because the Xbox and Microsoft has done a lot of talking since then. So I'm sure they are really getting down to the nitty gritty with that. But I'm so happy to finally be done with that. Let's go on ahead and go to the chat real quick and see what y'all are talking about real quick. I apologize for the ignoring that I was doing, but I had to get through that because I just wanted to be done talking about the CMA and stuff. But earlier, about 10 minutes ago, Pyro said, just saw an Atomic Heart trailer with Jensen Ackles. I wasn't interested much. Now I have a mighty need. Carry on, my wayward son. There will be peace when there is done. That's dope. That's fire. Mrs. Joanna Dark comes through here and says, hello, TSWS Gaming. Sir X-Man comes through. They wouldn't have this problem if they got their first party games out. Hey, is what it is though. A retro nerd saying it's how Microsoft became a $2 trillion company by playing dumb. Facts. Oh my goodness, right? I think that's fantastic. Pyro says the thing is a PS first party made, not owned, exclusive like MLB The Show went day one to Game Pass for the last every sale, every MTX or microtransaction through Xbox and Game Pass. More money than it made as an exclusive. Yikes. Yikes. That's some interesting statistics right there, Pyro. Thank you for giving me the heads up on that. Mr. Joanna Dark, okay, just good to see Retro Nerd, which it is good to see Retro up in here. I'm happy to see you. I did an interview with Retro a while back. Fantastic individual. Definitely go check it out. But gotcha. So Sir X-Man says, oh, they're gonna advertise Windows 12 when it comes out. You know, that's the truth. I mean, I think Microsoft is starting to get a little willing to get outside a little bit more, especially with all these companies doing fantastic in marketing and other, I mean, look how deep the phone business is now. Jeez Louise. It's pretty much a walking PC. So yeah, Windows needs to figure it out and be loud about it, or else they're just going to get passed by a lot of people. And sure, they'll be rich, but it's hard to, I mean, it'll be very much like the situation that they're in right now, where it's just like, yo, you didn't really build a whole lot in like your golden years, and now you're trying to build and you're doing it too fast. So I think that they better take care of themselves, or else they'll be in the exact same predicament that they're currently in right now. Pyro also says Rebellion Games tried a 3-month Game Pass deal for Zombie Army trilogy back around 2018. Since then, Sniper Elite 4 and 5 and Zombie Army 4 and Strange Brigade have all popped into the service since. I see what you're saying, Pyro. I see what you're saying, bro. You're saying, obviously it's doing pretty good because these people keep coming back. Same thing happened with Yakuza, right? Remember, Yakuza left Game Pass. Where is it at now? It's back on Game Pass. A lot of these, a lot of these companies are seeing the fruits of the labor when it comes to Game Pass. It's really interesting. So we can sit back here as fans and critique and say, oh, I don't know how my dev is getting taken care of. I don't know if they're supporting the devs properly. And it's just like, yo, old girl's still coming back. You feel bad for her, but she's still coming back. So is it bad? How is it bad if they keep coming back? I think if it was as bad as some people want to talk about, it would have been talked about. Okay? Let's see. What up, Sour Blow? I see you. Pyro also says an Elden Ring expansion will sell more than forgotten. Oh, all right. Forspoken is what you meant to say. Okay. Cough. Right. Let's see. Gogopol says you don't have to worry about Microsoft. I'd worry more about Sony and Nintendo. Fair enough. Retro Nerd, I think Microsoft is hoping that by connecting Xbox to the whole company, that it will have a major pull in getting Game Pass to where it needs to be revenue-wise. I sure would hope so. I mean, hey, people gotta get paid. People gotta make that money so they can eat, take care of their families, and do whatnot. So I'm really hoping that Game Pass is compensating properly so they can divvy up that money as well. We already seen what happened with Square Enix and People Can Fly. Square Enix tried to blame Microsoft about some BS, right? And People Can Fly was like, yo, where's the check, Square? Where's the check? Square Enix. I mean, so in my opinion, you gotta always you can't just think about just one company. Sometimes also the publisher is responsible for making sure the developers get what they got from Microsoft as well. So it's going through more than just one or two hands to get to the final pocket. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Sir X-Man, they threw a great Shadow Warrior 3 on their yeah. Shadow Warrior 3 they threw on there. I mean, there's TSWS Gaming says Sour Blow and XBI coming to Game Pass. Oh my goodness. I mean, sure. I'll take the revenue. Why not? Get them likes up for our bro Ham, everyone. I appreciate that. I don't even know where the likes are right now. I haven't even paid any attention to that. But Cult Classic Cage comes outside for your bro Ham. And I appreciate that so much. Yes, get those likes up. Share this stuff out. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. We just passed 500 subscribers on this channel, and that means a lot to me. I mean, it may not sound a whole lot to a whole lot of people or whatnot, but that means a ton to me. I literally had zero experience doing any of this stuff. I had zero experience hooking up computers and stuff like that. I made that all happen in a year. I watched a few videos, put together my own PC, decided to make a show, talk about gaming with other gamers, and also now I have my own show where I just kind of talk about gaming alone. And I appreciate those of you that show up to listen to my wild ass talk about some games and shit. But anyways, moving forward, Sir X-Man, I own Shadow Warrior digitally, but now I can play it on Game Pass, and it puts my PC I did not have. And put it on my PC. I did not have to buy to buy it twice, which is fire. And I'm gonna read a couple more of these, and then I gotta get back to some of this news. So Square thought Sony was money bags. I guess they aren't. Hey, that was that's ice cold, bro. Sour Blow, where do you see Square in 10 years from now if they aren't bought? Ooh, I don't know. I think they're getting bought regardless. I think Sony is gonna buy them. I really do, but it's very possible. It's very possible that that they go somewhere else. But I personally still think that relationship is just so tight with Sony. You got developers coming out for Final Fantasy saying that we are not making a PC port. You know, I understand Sony's trying to go to trying to bring some stuff to PC, but I'm sure they are fine with them not being in a hurry to do that. And then if Sony acquires Square Enix, then they could help them port stuff to PC properly. So it could totally be something like that, but I don't know where that goes. And then let's see, can't see them lasting, to be honest. Sour Blow. Okay, talking to Sour Blow. And then Cult Classics Cage says, always looking out, appreciate it. And that yeah, thank you, Retro. No, you said that 500 is truly deserved. I've been working my ass off, y'all, trying to get this up and going and running, and I'm proud of my accomplishment so far, and I hope to continue growing. But anyways, let's continue moving to something else. I have a whole lot to talk about here, or actually, I don't have a whole lot to talk about here. I'm keep it real with you. So it says original Metroid Prime developer expressed frustration at being excluded from remasters credits, which is insane in my opinion. Why is it insane? It's because, yo, they're the original creators. You got to pay it forward, right? You got to pay it forward. Yo, how would a Michael Jackson feel if Just Eat It by Weird Al was used, but they didn't care about any of the royalties? That's kind of what it's like, a little bit, except this isn't like this is a remaster. This isn't a reimagining. Like Weird Al and Michael Jackson, that's a reimagining 100%. Beat It versus Eat It, right? That's reimagined. This right here was a remaster. It's just a clean up of what was done already. So and it looks phenomenal. My bro Matt Likes Games has Metroid Prime, and he said, man, what they did for it on the Switch is absolutely insane. Mr. Joanna Dark right here says Metroid Prime looks better than any game on the Switch. Hey, that's fantastic. I think it's kind of weird that you don't want to give credit to those that worked on it previously. Just in the credits. I mean, obviously they're not asking for a whole lot. They're just saying, you know, maybe a thank you to at the end of the credits. What's 2 more minutes of just, you know, saying shout out to all these people that worked on the previous one. Anyways, it says the current version of the remaster only has a note acknowledging the original development team's contribution. Developers on the original Metroid Prime have expressed frustration and anger. By the way, this article is written by Grace Benfell from GameSpot. But anyways, continuing on, it says via a report from Axios, Zoid Kirsch, who was a senior engineer of the original game, posted on Twitter that he was disappointed. The original development team named were not included in the remaster's credits. Technical lead engineer Jack Matthew quote tweeted Kirsch's statement and said that the exclusion was a travesty. Matthews also made a statement to Axios, when my son plays Metroid Prime on the Switch for the first time, the fact that he won't see my and my colleagues' names in the credits as the original creators is a punch in the gut. And I tell you what, that ain't no lie. That ain't no lie. I mean, when you're telling your kid, yo, I made this game, and they're like, no, you didn't. You ain't in the credits. I don't think that would happen. You better get your ass in timeout. No, I'm just kidding. It'd be really nice just to have that extra little touch of respect, paying it forward and whatnot. Eternal, I almost said Eternal. Remember, your name used to be Eternal Umbra. Infinite Umbra. What's cracking? Thanks for hopping in here. Every time I see your name, I just immediately go to Eternal. I don't know. But yeah, so I just think this is wild. But it says from Zoid Kirsch, While many studios did amazing work on the remaster, I'm let down. Metroid Prime Remaster does not include the full original game credits. I worked with so many amazing people on the game, and everyone's name should be included in the remaster, not just a single card like this. Ooh, so let's expand this note, see what it says. Oh, I didn't mean to go to Twitter. Jeez Louise. Anyways, so expanding it, there you go. You can see the whole thing. It says, based on the work of Metroid Prime, original Nintendo GameCube and Wii versions, development staff. Wow. All of that writing is for them? That's not, not the dopest. Not the dopest I've seen. But anyways, continuing on, it says currently the game shows a title screen which reads based on, okay. All right, I just read that. The rest of the credits concern the remaster itself, listing the employees at various studios who contributed on the project. Other remasters Nintendo has published included their original development team in the credits, such as Skyward Sword HD. So this is wildly disrespectful because they've done it before with other games and whatnot. Credits in the games can be frequently sources of controversy with developers who depart a project before release, often being left out. Axios reports notes the guidelines of the International Game Developers Association, which state that ports, remasters, remakes, and re-releases must retain the original name that worked on the game. However, the association does not have any legal power to enforce these guidelines. Wow, so they got rules, but they said, oh, we can't do anything about it, though. Why the hell do you got rules if you can't do nothing about it? What does that even mean? It's like me telling my daughter, hey, don't go into the fridge. And if she does, nothing. She just gets to do whatever she wants. I mean, what does that even mean? But anyways, continuing on, that's kind of some sad news. Hopefully they get the credit that they deserve, especially, I mean, that game is looking fantastic. As Mr. Joanna Dark put earlier, he said it's a fantastic game. It looks great. My buddy Matt Likes Games, absolutely loving that game right now. He's actually trying to play it on his Steam Deck as well, but he said it's not running so well on that, so he needs to figure that thing out. But anyways, we're moving on, and I tell you guys, this right here was pretty nuts that I seen yesterday. The Atomic Heart official trailer featuring Jason Ackles or whatever. We're gonna watch it. You know what? If this channel loses the ability to be able to, have the volume or whatnot for this part later on down the line, oh well, news is over. But what I tell you what is we're gonna enjoy this here right now. So buckle up, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that play button and widen this screen so you guys can see it. Okay, so let me make sure you guys can hear it first. So just one moment. All right, so there we go. You guys should be able to hear it now.
Watch and learn. That's how you do it. The atomic way.
Yo, I gotta tell y'all, this game looks fantastic. I'm excited. I know that wasn't gameplay, but yo, I'm excited. I'm excited for that game. I was not excited for this game before. I was not until I seen that 8-minute trailer or gameplay or talk about whatever they did with that 8 minutes a few days ago or last week or whatever. I thought that made the game stand out so well. And I tell you what, throwing shots at Hogwarts, man, this game said, I got the chest out. The chest is out right now. What you gonna do about it? And I'm just like, you're really flexing to Hogwarts Legacy, the game that just be breaking records. This is breaking records. It broke Elden Ring records. Like, it's breaking records. It's looking fantastic. Fantastic. Shout out to Sir X, man. He sent me that link just the other day, and I had to check it out. Fantastic. I appreciate that from you, Sir X, man. But I am stoked for this game. I see you guys in the chat. Y'all are pretty excited for this game as well. I'm going to read some of this chat, but keep it moving fairly soon. So, let's see. I'll start with Sir X, man. He said they didn't have enough room on having enough what on the game cartridges to add the previous. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Stop it, Sir X, man. You're tripping. You were tripping. No, I mean, I see that as a joke now. So, Retro Nerd says, sweet, he's talking to Infinite Umbra. Gogo Pole, can't believe the game comes out soon. Absolutely. Atomic Heart from Mr. Jan Dark says, Atomic Heart is going to be dope. I have it preloaded and ready to go. I still need to preload it myself. Probably gonna delete As Dust Falls to make room for Atomic Heart. I've been really thinking about going through. I already beat As Dust Falls, but there's different ways of beating it. So I was thinking about maybe getting back into it and trying it, and making some different answers and whatnot. But anyways, I'll be deleting that to make room for Atomic Heart, 100%. Gogo Poe says, then Wolong next. We're gonna be talking about Wolong here shortly. So keep tuned if you want to hear about some dope Wolong news. So Pyro says, Ham, earlier I mentioned SPN. It's a reference towards Supernatural that Jensen starred in previously. Yeah, and he was recently on The Boys. And he was a badass on The Boys. He was a badass on The Boys. I loved his character in there. I thought it was fantastic. It was hella cringe, but it was fantastic. Mr. Joanna Dark said, from Dean Winchester to Soldier Boy, and now Atomic Heart. Fantastic. Yeah, it's just dope. Strex, okay. Gogo Pole says games can be hard to sell. It took some people playing Hogwarts to sell me that game, and I love Hogwarts now. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, not even slightly. But Hogwarts pulled me in. It pulled me in, and it's a fantastic game. Infinite Umbra says, nice. I think you'll love. Okay, he's talking to Retro Nerd still. All right, so I am gonna get back to the news. So not only is this really dope with Atomic Heart, but this next bit of news is pretty cool as well. So it says Atomic Heart devs heartwarming feat for Ukraine relief brings community together on Valentine's Day, which is Let's just get into it. So it says Atomic Heart has a weird marketing run leading up to its first scheduled release period back in 2022, with the release date just under a week on February 20th. So in just in 5 days. Nice. More news is coming out about the game, including from those who worked on it. Legendary gaming composer Mick Gordon, which he is a very legendary, absolutely, recently took to Twitter to post a statement about Atomic Heart, which features heavy Russian themes. In the statement, Gordon said that he is proud of the work that he did with Mundfish, which allows him to be creative. He said that he supports Ukraine's people and stand against Vladimir Putin's invasion of the country. I'm eager to see and hear my musical contributions to come to life in the final game when Atomic Heart releases later this month, Gordon said. Oh Lord. So here Mick Gordon specifically says, my music contribution to Atomic Heart will also support a greater cause. I've donated my fee to the Red Cross of Ukraine, pretty much, or of AU. It says Ukraine crisis appeal to stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. If you are able to, please consider donating. Together we can make a difference. Which, that's insane. He took all the money that was supposed to be spent on him. I mean, obviously, bro got cash. I mean, bro got cake. He's done some fantastic stuff in the past, but I tell you what, to take your money and just say, you know what, this entire game's money is just going to a cause. That's awesome. And he kind of took the spotlight with that a little bit with stance, because obviously Mundfish isn't going to come out and take a stance because that's kind of dangerous for them to do. But anyways, it says in the final paragraph of the statement, Gordon said that he is proud to donate my fee from the game to the it is Australian Red Cross Ukraine crisis appeal. Okay. He said that he thinks it is important to donate pro-peace organizations that will help the people in the country who need it. His decision has provided his salary to the relief efforts is a good statement about Russia ahead of Atomic Heart's release. The Russian invasion of Ukraine turned into a war that has been going on for nearly a year. When the game releases, it will be even closer to a year since Putin began his assault on Eastern Europe. This will likely be on a lot of players' minds when they venture through the dystopian world where the Soviet Union has managed to dominate. I mean, that's an interesting paragraph to read. The timing of this title is unfortunate to say the least. It's a fact. I mean, the game releases in under a week with many players eager to see if they can live up to impressive visuals shown in the trailers. So anyways, I mean, I'm right there with that last sentence of this whole entire article. I'm there day one to see if this game lives up to the visuals, not only in cutscenes, but during actual gameplay, how it actually is balanced, all of that, yada, yada. Fantastic. So this is really good news. Congratulations to Mick Gordon on doing something as dope as this. This is super duper nice. But continuing on, we got other stuff that we need to talk about. Ooh. So just these last couple of things we're going to be talking about, okay? So Starfield is out in June. It's out in June. What do you guys think of that? It's out in June. Claims insiders as release date leak causes confusion. What do you guys think about that? Do you think this game is actually going to come out in June? I think that is pretty solid. I think that'd be fantastic. And it makes sense. They said the whole year thing, right? if, you know, Redfall has already got its release date. Starfield does not have a release date, but we're anticipating Xbox hold strong to their word. I don't think it'd be as much of a big deal if Forza got delayed outside of that 1 year of this is what we're going to be coming out within the next 12 months kind of thing. It wouldn't be a big deal. But if Starfield goes past that 12 months, I feel like a lot of people will lose faith in Microsoft even more. And the problem is Microsoft keeps kind of digging themselves a hole with people. Keeps digging a hole. Here's one promise, couldn't make that promise. Another promise, can't make that promise either. Shit. Keep digging. So like I really think that they're planning on having this game come out for sure before that those 12 months are up, essentially. Okay, so that's my take on it, but let's go on ahead into the article and see what happened. So it says Starfield is out in June, claims insider as release date. Leak causes confusion. So a recently spotted launch date for Starfield suggests Bethesda game will be out in June, but there's confusion on how accurate it is. Okay, it says after it was delayed out of 2022, Microsoft and Bethesda have said they are committed to releasing Starfield within the first half of 2023. The game wasn't mentioned during Xbox's January showcase, but Microsoft preempted this by saying it would get its own show, its own standalone event later. Hopefully that's when Microsoft will announce a proper release date and put fans out of their misery. But for now, word has spread of a leak release date of June 29th. Although it is not clear that it's accurate by accident or design, the listing was spotted earlier this month by noted Valve leaker Tyler McVicker, but only got widespread attention over the weekend. The date is believable since it's just about falls within Bethesda's target window, and Microsoft's rarely release its own exclusives on a Friday. As discovered by Twitter user Idle Sloth, shout out to Idle Sloth, the release date has been on the GOG Galaxy service since as early as July 12th of last year, just a couple months after Starfield's initial delay was announced. Wow. So, I mean, that's the end of that article. But wow. So we're looking at, so the next hope is pretty much for June 29th. So that's the next thing to possibly look out for and be excited about. Let's go over to the chat before we get into this last topic. The last topic I'm pretty excited about. If you were paying attention to the screen, you might have seen it pop up just a little bit ago before I got into this article. But Sir X-Man says Final Fantasy 16 is going to be in trouble because it's only going to be on one console. They're not going to make any money. I mean, you could say the same thing about Starfield though, right? It's not going to be on any other console. But I mean, I tell you what, it's very helpful that it's on Gamepass, Sir X-Man. It's very helpful that it's on Gamepass. We just got done talking about the whole Microsoft and cannibalizing itself or the sales of games coming out because they have a subscription service. This is like Starfield is that game that's going to get people in the Game Pass. Yes, I think it's that game. Depending on how this Activision Blizzard deal goes, it will be based on that as well. Redfall will be helpful but I don't think it will be like that game that takes you to the next level subscription wise or whatnot. I think it's going to be a fantastic game though. Black Card A says, or Black Card, I don't ever know how to say this properly. I always look at it and I'm like, or is it Black Arcade? I don't know. It says back, or it says, what up, guys? Assuming just talking to everybody in the chat and whatnot. So X-Man says, you know that balloon at the end of, at the end have the, okay. Tortoise Hawaii loves McGordon. Yep, absolutely. So let's see. So Infinite Umbra agrees. He says, sounds about right to me. I think late June. Retro Nerd says Wolong looks dope. Yo, we're right around the corner from getting into that. Tortoise Hawaii says after a few patches. Okay, sure. Gogo Po says I think it's out in June. If it was March, it should have been advertised. It'd be in advertised mode right now. That's fact. It'd be hard to go without being able to see that game. Retro Nerd says we are still waiting for Bethesda to do the showcase on Starfield, aren't we? Gogo Post, Microsoft isn't worried about console war. They're worried about subs to Game Pass might not be enough to warrant being in gaming at all. Oh, okay. Pyro says June 29th feels like a storefront placeholder though. I think more six of the six would match thematics of 11. Sure, I could see that, like 6 23. I mean that would be interesting. It'd be a little demonic, but it'd be interesting for sure. I'm not sure if they're trying to scare any people, that's for sure, especially with Xbox's marketing tactics. They're nothing like they used to be when it comes to being edgy or wild. Bethesda, sure, but I don't think they're going to, be that close to 666. That's pretty tough. But anyways, last thing that we're talking about today is a Wolong Fallen Dynasty demo that's going to be coming out soon. That's coming out just a couple days after the Atomic Heart game release, which is super duper exciting. I played some Wolong, absolutely loved that game. Highly recommend playing it if you've never checked it out. Excuse me, got that in the way. What I was trying to do real quick is, I'm not sure how many of you guys have played Wolong, but I'm telling you guys, it's a phenomenal game. I had a lot of fun. The co-op within that game is pretty damn interesting. Lot to be proud of there. And I tell you, when this game comes out, me and my bro Matt Likes Games are just gonna run right through that sumbitch. I'm very excited to see what this game's all about. Okay, but anyways, continuing on so you guys can see what this is all about. It says the final demo will feature 2 early stages of the game that were not featured in the first demo. So in case you're thinking, oh great, another demo, but it's gonna be the same thing, it is not at all the same demo as the first time. So it says 2 early stages of the game that were not featured in the first demo, including Chapter 1, Village of Calamity, along with Chapter 2, 2 Chivalrous Heroes. Okay? Both chapters will showcase the thrilling combat and intense fighting of a demon-plagued fantasy 3 kingdoms, as nameless militia soldier fights his way through waves of monsters and enemy soldiers in this later Han Dynasty epic. Online multiplayer will be available. It says online multiplayer will also be available in this demo, and by clearing the first chapter, and transferring the save data to the main game, players will earn the in-game item Crouching Dragon Helmet upon the game's release. Just as a reminder, this game comes out for PlayStation 5, 4, Xbox Series S and X, One, Steam, and the Microsoft Store. But if you didn't know, it's also gonna be day one in Gamepass. So this is really exciting and dope. And remember, just a little bit ago, we were talking about how Microsoft is willing to pay forward first, and then, you know, you are able to launch in Game Pass day one. I mean, to me, that's amazing because like they said earlier, that allows them to take more risks on a game and make sure they get the money up front. They get the money up front, get risky, get wild, get fun. Gogo Poe says, Wolong gonna rock. Love the first demo. Me too. I beat the first demo solo, went back in it, and beat it with my bro Matt Likes Games. He was stuck on that last boss, and we beat the brakes out of him when we played together. It's fantastic. I highly recommend that you guys try out this demo. Keep in mind, this demo period states right here. I'm gonna highlight it so you can see it nice and clear. Okay. Demo period, Friday, the 23rd of February at midnight, all the way to Sunday, March 26th at midnight. I'm telling y'all, you got over a month to try out this game. Over a month. No excuses. It's free. It's a demo. Go give it a try. See how you like it. It's a Souls type game. Like, it's a Souls-like game. But it's multiplayer. And it's not multiplayer in the sense of you got to call somebody in just for that level. No, y'all are running the entire level together. The entire level. You call them in from the get-go, meet up, and then just run through the entire level until you get to the end of the demo. I'm telling you, I did that with my bro, and it was so good. They have fantastic powers that you can use outside of just your base combat. I highly recommend that you try this game. It's so much fun. So much fun. Especially with co-op. It can get a little stressful single player because, I mean, some of them monsters in that game don't mess around and they'll like one-tap you. They will one-tap your ass. Like I said, remember, it's a Souls-like game. So you will get one-tap. But if you have an extra player in there, I mean, y'all can keep, you know, fanning the flame, beating them up. But anyways, y'all, it's been a pleasure. Let me go on ahead and knock out some of the chat, see what y'all talking about real quick before I get up out of here. But anyways, let's start with Gogo Pole says, I think, oh wait, no, I already read that earlier. So yeah, Gogo Pole, I'll start off with him again. So he says, Wolong, gonna rock, love that first demo. So I already read that. Sour Blow says Starfield should release before their E3 event. I should not take away from the game shown at it should not take away from the game shown at E3 for sure. Retro Nerd says they do a one more thing at E3 with okay, one more thing. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. A one more thing comment with Starfield launching that day. That would be insane. That would be wild, and it'd definitely steal the show. But better yet, it would give us something to play right then and there. In comparison of, oh, the showcase was cool. Now I'm gonna go back to the game that I was just playing before I got here. No, that might make, I mean, when I seen Hi-Fi Rush get announced, I was like, downloading that now. I go to Twitter, the first thing I see is Hi-Fi Rush everywhere. That's exact. I think that is the strategy market that that Xbox should kind of go with. Loke says change it up, but change it to what? And why break something that's working just fine? That's where I'm at with that. Retro Nerd says there. Okay, I already read. I literally just read that. Tortoise Hawaii says how many players in Wolong? Oh man, I know it's 2-player co-op, but it might go up to 3. I'm kind of curious. I'm looking that up right now. Let's look it up together. How many players can co-op in Wolong? Right here. Co-op play up to 3 players, including yourself. So there you have it. There you have it, Tortoise Hawaii. You have up to 3 players. So very much like Outriders or Gears of War or something like that. You got 3. I really don't like the whole 3-player thing because it's just like kind of weird to me. Because we used to all play like 4-player co-op games back in the day, and now it went down to 3. But hey, I'll take it. I'll take 1 extra person versus. I mean, it's better than 2. 3 is better than 2, so I'll take that. I'll take that, and that's dope to see right there. Great question, Tortoise Hawaii. Great question, because I'm sure because I was actually kind of curious about that, but I forgot about it. So I'm happy that you brought that back to my attention, so I can go back and look into that. And now I have it on my channel so everybody can see it. But Sour Blow says, do all players progress or only the host? Ooh, I don't know either what progression is like. You know what? Let's go back to see that. So, whatever. So yeah, let's go to the frequently asked questions for Wolong. Might as well while we're here, right? So let's see what the questions are. If 5%, okay, PS4 can save data on PS5 be carried over, yada. And we already know the answer to that for Xbox. Anyways, PC version offer, okay. Frame rate, will Steam Deck be supported? It is Steam Deck unsupported. So that's something to kind of note for those of you with Steam Deck. I don't see that as a frequently asked question, but let me see. The question was, do all players progress? And I don't know. I don't see that question there at all, which kind of sucks because that's a legit ass question. This is kind of cool right here. So it says the person asked what types of online multiplayer are available, and it says there are 3 types, including cooperative mode, recruitment, cooperative play up to 3 players, including yourself. Co-op up to 3 players, including yourself, can play through a friend or set password. So what I'm assuming probably is you'll have to do it twice. I'm assuming that. Invade another player's mission as an enemy or be invaded by an enemy. I think that's kind of cool. Very Elden Ring or, you know, Souls game. But anyways, I'm not seeing that question though. Let me just ask Google itself. So you wanted to know if, let me see, player progression, Wolong. Oh boy. So yeah, I'm not getting really a clear answer on this. So I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, Sour Blow. I'm really interested. I'm actually gonna look that up, but I'm not gonna do that live on stream right now while I have everybody here. But thank you to all of y'all that came through today, checked out the stream and whatnot. It's been a pleasure. I had a really good time talking to you guys in the chat. Those of you that are new here, make sure you hit that like button, please. I just hit over 500 subscribers, but I'm still looking for more people to come through and check out this stuff that we're providing to the gaming community. Don't be shy. Holler at me on Twitter as well, at HamSolo05 Gaming. You can find me, you can holler at me. My DMs are open if you ever want to be on a show or whatnot. I'm very open to talking to people as long as you're not freaking a lunatic or something like that. But anyways, it has been my pleasure, you guys. Make sure you guys stick around or not stick around, but make sure you guys come back tomorrow. I will be having a game developer that I'll be interviewing. His name is the Don KTR. Really great individual. He does a lot of podcasts with K Mega called the Dev and the Gamer. Very fantastic show that they host over there on the K Mega 4 channel. But the Don KTR recently started his own YouTube channel where he's going to be talking about various things, including game development. You guys should definitely tune into tomorrow's episode just to figure out who the Don KTR is, so you can maybe check out his content and see if you like it, and maybe you'll enjoy an upcoming game that he is working on. But thank you so much, everybody. Retro Nerd Gogapole, I see you guys saying great show. I appreciate everything. All of your guys' time, all of your guys' energy. Remember, your boy Ham Solo is here to let you know to keep it gaming or keep it moving. Deuces.